Germany designed the Panther specifically to kill the T-34. Then the Soviets upgraded the T-34 specifically to kill the Panther. This arms race between two legendary tanks decided the fate of the Eastern Front. Two of the most iconic weapons of their era. Head to head. Which one was better? The Panther was Germany's response to the T-34. The T-34/85 was Russia's response to the Panther. This was the defining tank duel of the Eastern Front. Soldiers debated this question in the trenches and on the battlefield. Let us settle it. This is Panther versus T-34/85. The Panther was born from the shock of meeting the T-34. German engineers studied captured T-34s and designed a response. The Panther had 80 mm of sloped front armor and a high-velocity 75 mm gun. It combined Tiger-level protection with medium tank mobility. The T-34/85 added a new 3-man turret with an 85 mm gun. It could penetrate the Panther's side armor but struggled against the front. The Panther's gun could kill a T-34/85 at over 2,000 meters. The T-34/85 needed to close to 500 meters for a frontal kill. At Kursk, the first Panthers broke down constantly. Transmission failures, engine fires, and track problems plagued them. The T-34/85 was reliable and simple. Soviet crews could maintain it in the field. Panthers needed specialized workshops. In a one-on-one fight, the Panther won almost every time. But one-on-one fights rarely happened on the Eastern Front. Soviet tactics used mass. 5 T-34 divided by 85s against one Panther. Even if the Panther killed 3, the other 2 would flank it. The Panther weighed 45 tons. The T-34/85 weighed 32 tons. This difference mattered on soft ground, bridges, and mud. Germany built about 6,000 Panthers. The Soviets built over 22,000 T-34 divided by 85s. Numbers told the story. Experienced Panther crews were devastating. But by 1944, most German crews had weeks of training. Soviet crews had months. The Panther's side armor was only 40 mm. A flanking T-34/85 could kill it easily. Soviet commanders learned to exploit this. Post-war testing showed the Panther was the best medium tank of the war on paper. But on the Eastern Front, paper did not fight. Both tanks influenced post-war design. The T-54 evolved from the T-34. The Panther influenced the French AMX-50. The Panther was the superior tank in single combat, but the T-34/85 won through mass production, reliability, and superior numbers on the Eastern Front. But numbers only tell part of the story. In combat, other factors mattered. Training, tactics, supply chains, and sheer luck often decided the outcome. This rivalry epitomized the Eastern Front, German quality versus Soviet quantity. In the end, quantity had a quality all its own, as Stalin reportedly said. The crews who operated these machines knew their strengths and their weaknesses. In the end, both weapons earned their place in history. This was Panther versus T-34/85. And the debate continues to this day. Military enthusiasts and historians still argue over which was superior. Both weapons represented the best engineering their nations could produce. They were born in war, tested in fire, and remembered forever. The real winner was whichever one kept its crew alive to fight another day. This was Panther versus T-34/85 Eastern Front Tank Duel. History is not always black and white. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today. The events described here shape the world we live in today.